Hey, what's up everybody? It's been a while since I posted my last video. Last video that I posted was about my Miata that I totaled, and I slightly talked about a couple cars that I was interested in buying. So what you see here is my new 2017, or new to me 2017 Toyota 86. In 2017 the Scion brand was dropped. So the Scion FRS and Subaru BRZ are the twin cars. Some people call it triplets because there's the Toyota 86. This is what I ended up picking up. A little background on my thought process here. When I made my last video, I was talking about how I possibly wanted a turbo car, definitely wanted to stay rear-wheel drive, still kind of stay in the two-door range. I was looking at buying a BMW 135. That's what my first choice actually was. I got to drive around a BMW 1M, which is the M version of the 135, and it was a great car. I loved it. I thought it was good. I went on my deployment, started researching, looking up problems, looking up concerns, and there were just a few things that kind of steered me away from the vehicle. High pressure fuel pumps being an issue, fuel injectors possibly being an issue. A lot of people say that you need to clean out your valves, like acorn blast them, and it just seemed like a lot of work. And this is something that I'm going to be dailying, something that I will modify, but I didn't really want to put that much work into the vehicle. So kind of sticking in the rear-wheel drive, two-door range, I started looking at Miatas again, and kind of wanted to leave that crowd for a little bit. Love them. I still think Miata is always the answer, but I just wanted to try something a little different. Kind of still wanted a convertible, so I started looking at other convertibles. Looked at the Saturn Sky Redline and the Pontiac Solstice GXP, because both of them are forced induction, turbocharged or supercharged, I believe. 4 cylinders, convertible, great cars, 6-speed, has the Ecotec motor in it. So I thought that'd be a great platform. But then I always kind of liked the look of a Subaru BRZ, the look of the Scion FRS, and I started kind of looking at those vehicles. Started doing research on them, and from what I understand, there is very little maintenance that needs to be done with these vehicles other than your standard oil changes, fluid changes. Some people say you should be using specific oil or specific fluids, but other than that, like, they're pretty well put together cars. I know that like the 2013, late 2012, basically 2013 models had issues with a valve spring recall, and then some people say that there's issues with their fuel pump making like a ticking noise. You could always replace the fuel pump, and or people say that the ticking noise is kind of just normal, to not worry about it. Other than that, the maintenance pretty much is super simple on these cars. I was looking for, like I said, two-door rear-wheel drive, something that got good gas mileage, something that I could daily and that I could modify. The aftermarket on these cars are amazing. There's plenty to buy, anything you could think of. So definitely going to be able to modify this car the way I want. Goals for this car is kind of the same thing I did for my Miatas. I want to be able to go to the autocross, maybe some track days, but for the most part I'm daily driving. I'm going to do simple mods, clean mods, nothing too crazy. Not going to wide body. I don't think I'll ever wide body. Maybe later on down the road, but really not going to wide body. I do want to replace some of these black pieces with carbon fiber. I want to get carbon fiber mirror caps. There's a lot of carbon fiber pieces for this car. Hoods, fenders, doors, roofs, side skirts, lips, just about every diffusers, rear diffusers, anything you could think of, they make carbon fiber for it. So I might go that route. Why did I get an 8.6 versus a BRZ versus an FRS? Honestly, I got this 8.6 because it was a really great deal. The BRZ Limited and the 8.6 Special Edition is the only version that you could get with leather. I did prefer leather. I like the idea of heated seats. I wanted to go down that route. But everything that I found that was in my price range, I was trying to stay under 17. Really, I was trying to stay under 15 grand. They were all 2013, 2014 models. If I wanted the leather, if I wanted the heated seats. all had about 80,000 plus miles on them. Most of them were modified. They look like they were run hard, and I didn't really want to do something like that. I wanted a pretty clean car. I stumbled upon this car on OfferUp. The guy was selling it for a reasonable price. It was a couple grand more than what I wanted to spend, but it's a 2017 with only 43,000 miles on it. It's a pretty stock vehicle. The only thing that he's done so far are these Buddy Club rear taillights, and I like those. I probably would have done something like that. And then the other thing he did was in the interior. So I'll kind of go over the interior and do a walk around of the car. Let me go ahead and pop everything open for you. All right, let's finish this walk around. I got everything popped open so we could kind of just take a look at everything. First thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and show you the engine. Engine's not all that clean. Definitely want to detail this up, get a lot of this dust out of there. I might do something about this, maybe remove it or just get a new panel. Not a big fan of having that messed up. In 2017, they got rid of the plastic intake, and they went with your, I believe it's cast aluminum with the red wrinkle paint, which is nice. But this is pretty much stock. There's nothing done to this motor. Everything's there. Nothing, no intake, no exhaust. It is the FA20 motor. These don't come turbocharged from the factory. Everybody wants them to be turbocharged, but they're not. But that's pretty much the engine. Nothing too special. And then let's go ahead and look at the trunk for now. If you look, trunk's pretty open there. You can pull on these right here, and by pulling on these, you are able to pop that all the way down to make it fold flat so that you could get into the, or put something large back here. Below, you have a spare tire. You have your lift there and some tools. And pop trunk close. Gas tank, you have to pull a little lever on the driver's side, and it's just a normal gas cap. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at the interior. So something the previous owner did, I believe, I don't think it came from the factory this way. So he added these blue weave pattern, almost carbon fiber looking material to the doors and the dash. He also did something with the door handles here. It's almost like a teal color door handle. Those are really the only modifications that he's done in the interior. So you got your standard lock and auto up, auto down feature for your window. It's a 6-speed. You have your cloth seats. There is not a lot of room in the back seat. If you need to get into the back, you could pull on this. It'll let your seat roll back and forth so that you could get in the back there. Let me go ahead and pop these seats back up. Seats pop back up now, and that's how much room there is. I have my seat in the driving position I want, and if you look, there is no room back there. 2 seats. That's pretty much where it is, how it is. Standard floor mats, nothing too special. Let me go ahead and go to the driver's side. Kind of talk about the interior a little bit more. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place with this video. So over here on the driver's side, on the door, you got your mirror adjustments, your locks, your windows, and then your window lock. Same fabrics repeated over here, along with this right here. Your instrument clusters there. If you were to get a limited, the gauge right here is different on the BRZ Limited, and it's also different on the 8.6 Special Editions. It's like a digital display. It actually shows you like horsepower and torque curves and a couple of other things. The other thing that's different on a limited BRZ or Special Edition 8.6 is this Hvac Control right here will be different. There's more switches on them, and it's a different style bezel. There's also push button start on your limited and your Special Edition 8.6s, where this is just a typical key. 6-speed manual. You have your traction control settings there, e-brake, you'll have a outlet there for power. You also have USB and aux right there. Pretty standard features for a car. I think the car is great. So far, I've had the car only for a couple days, and I've got in about 31 miles to the gallon. So as a commuter, it's great. I think it's good, it's fun. It's got stock wheels. If you look, I don't know what's going on here. A guy curb rashed them, maybe some overspray, or maybe he dipped them or something, but they aren't the prettiest. These are the stock wheels, and he has some 215/45 off-brand Noyager ground speeds. So some cheap tires. I do plan on getting different wheels and tires. That's definitely going to be a mod. Another thing I plan on doing is getting a something to lower it, whether that be just springs or coilovers. I want to do a lot of carbon fiber accents on the outside, so you guys can look forward to that. Probably going to get some different floor mats. I want to get something that's a little more weather resistant. It rains a lot here in Washington, and I just want to make sure that it's nice and clean in there as much as possible. But yeah, this is my 2017 Toyota 86 base model. It does have the halo white paint, which is something you have to pay for extra. I don't know if it's going to show up in camera, but it's got this nice pearl metallic finish to it. My windows aren't tinted. Definitely want to tint my windows. I like the car. It's great. What do I have in store? We'll probably do floor mats next. And then we'll start hitting some of the aesthetic things, cosmetic things to make the car look better. Eventually we'll do exhaust and maybe an intake, and then maybe headers. I'll just start throwing money at it as I can whenever I could afford it. But I love the car. It's great. Hopefully my Miata fans that have subscribed still want to watch these videos. Hopefully they'll enjoy seeing this car. And I probably will do a lot of comparisons of this car to the Miata, since it was my last, and it's another option for a two-door rear-wheel drive 4-cylinder car. Thank you for watching my videos. Hopefully you hit like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.